Today, we are going to be talking about how to get your Scorpion Handstand. In this video, I'm going to break down how the Scorpion Handstand differs from the actual handstand, what are the prerequisites that you should have before actually getting into your Scorpion Handstand training, and the exercises and stretches that I used in order to get me to my Scorpion Handstand. So let's get into the prerequisites. The main difference between the actual handstand and the Scorpion Handstand is the Scorpion Handstand requires not only the balance of the handstand, but also more chest strength and also some serious back flexibility. So a few prerequisites for the actual Scorpion Handstand: you should be able to hold the handstand quite comfortably, at least 10 plus seconds. And you also want to make sure that your back flexibility is up to par. If you're doing Sphinx and it's too extreme of a stretch, then you're going to want to work on stretching for a bit before even attempting any of these further progressions. Personally, before I got into Scorpion Handstand, I could do the upward Sphinx very comfortably, and I could also do the back bend, but it wasn't the most comfortable. I don't have the most extreme back flexibility, but I definitely have more back flexibility than strength. So if you have a very flexible lower back and can arch your lower back real comfortably, that's gonna be super helpful in getting you to your Scorpion Handstand. Now, a big difference between the actual handstand and the Scorpion Handstand that you should be mindful of before getting into your Scorpion Handstand training is that the handstand requires a lot of scapula and trap strength. All those tiny little muscles in your upper back that control if you move your scapula, your shoulder blades together, down your back, up your back. Now, since we start in a normal handstand before shifting into the Scorpion Handstand, we're obviously going to be using all those muscles that control our scapula and also our traps a lot. But then as we shift into the Scorpion Handstand, you start to use your chest more because you actually pull your chest towards the floor. So if you are not super strong on your push-ups or any other chest focused skills, then I would really recommend training your chest with other supportive exercises alongside your Scorpion Handstand training, because that's going to help you a lot. You don't need extreme chest strength. I'm not trying to say that you need to do a planche or something. It's not an intense chest exercise, but if you can't do at least like 15 push-ups quite comfortably, I would definitely recommend working on your chest strength before getting too far into the Scorpion Handstand. Now, I highly recommend that you start with a very long warm-up before getting into your Scorpion Handstand training. Normally, I recommend that you do a very long handstand warm-up anyway, because the longer that you're warming up, the more you're preparing your body and getting it very comfortable with being upside down, recalibrating your central nervous system to be like, oh yes, upside down is normal. I should be pressing with my fingers. I should be squeezing my scapula. All the handstand cues that you think of when you're training your handstand. But for the Scorpion Handstand, you want to maybe make it even a little bit longer. And here you're going to want to be doing more back stretches, warming up your back, cat-cow, definitely the upward Sphinx, even if you start low and then move into higher upward Sphinx, and then getting into your back bend. Make sure that your back is super warmed up and stretched out before getting into any of these progressions. We do not want any injuries. Take as long as you need for your warm-up. Just to gauge, my warm-ups tend to be 10 to 15 minutes plus for the Scorpion Handstand training sessions that I do. And that's coming from someone who years and years ago had a back injury. Not a super intense one, no disc, anything like that, but I do just try to be very mindful, and I would recommend that you do the same. Also, in your warm-up, make sure that you incorporate a few floor pressways if you aren't already. This is going to be when you place your hands on the floor like you're in a push-up position, pressing your shoulder blades down towards the floor, pressing the floor away from you with your hands. And this is going to help prep your body for the motion that you want to do in the Scorpion Handstand, where you're pressing the floor away from you, sliding your shoulder blades down your back, because that's the movement we're going to get into as we shift into the Scorpion Handstand. Step number 2, we're moving onto the wall. So once you're properly warmed up, we're getting into the exercises here. I recommend starting with the wall handstand facing away from the wall. You're gonna keep one foot on the wall, slowly slide your chest towards the floor as you start to arch your back. One leg's gonna stay in the air and the other one's gonna slide down the wall as you bend your knee for balance. This exercise should not be training your balance. What you should be thinking about here is just slowly moving your chest towards the floor, arching your back, and starting to get a little bit comfortable moving in and out of this arched back position. You wanna be able to slide your chest towards the floor and then press tall with your shoulders to press back up into the handstand against the wall. And go super slowly at first. You do not need to take it fast. I did just this exercise so many sessions, slowly just getting comfortable with the movement before even attempting any of the further exercises we're gonna go through. Focus on pulling your chest parallel to the floor, squeezing your glutes here, and bending your knees. Now, a mistake that I made early on in my Scorpion Handstand training is I was just letting my legs flop over. I was really focusing on pulling my chest towards the floor, but then my legs were just behind me. I was just arching my back. You don't want to do this. You want to keep your legs completely engaged like we are in the normal handstand, squeezing your legs at all points in time to maintain that full body tension to hold the handstand. But here in the Scorpion, instead of squeezing your legs in the straight position, we're basically going to be squeezing our glutes, engaging our hamstrings, and pointing our toes. So still fully engaging all our leg muscles while bent at the knee. And as you practice this exercise over time, the goal is to continue to lower until your chest is parallel with the ground. And if flexibility feels like it's a big challenge here, one thing that you can do is stretching against the wall. So you're gonna kick up into a normal handstand, but now you're facing away from the wall. You're gonna let your butt sink into the wall as you arch your lower back and just sit into this stretch. I used to do this stretch for like maybe 30 seconds or so, just trying to let my back arch as much as possible. It feels really uncomfortable if you haven't done back stretching or kind of like contortionist training. I haven't done a ton. This is like the extent of my contortionist training, and it's not the most comfortable. Definitely not painful. No sharp pains or anything that you have to stop, but definitely not comfortable. You can also focus on the other less intense stretches that like back bend, upward sphinx. And then step number 3 is the final step. You're gonna move onto the floor to start practicing it. Now the trick for the Scorpion handstand is connecting the normal straight handstand with the last exercise that you were just practicing against the wall. And shifting into the Scorpion handstand from the handstand is definitely a little bit of a tricky balance. And it honestly just takes quite a bit of practice. I highly recommend setting up your phone, your camera, so that you can record yourself. And that's really helpful to check your form and see where you might be failing when you go back to look. You can find whether you're overbalancing or underbalancing, whether you're not bringing your chest close enough to the floor, or if you're not bringing your legs far enough out behind you or arching your back enough. And this is gonna be like the very fun trial and error, practice the balance and just get comfortable over time. And here are the top tips that I have in this stage. One is you need to squeeze your chest more than you think. You really want to bring your chest as parallel to the floor as you possibly can if you have a super flexible lower back. The more you squeeze your chest muscles and the more you squeeze your leg muscles, the more balance, because you're engaging everything. You're not letting any parts of your body flop or shift in your center of balance. Another tip, as you're connecting your handstand into your Scorpion handstand, you want to pull your chest towards the floor at the same time as you lowering your legs. And at first this feels a little bit awkward, so you're gonna have to find the balance, but try to think about doing them at the same time, not one and then the other, because that's gonna be hard to find your balance. So you want to simultaneously squeeze your glutes and pull your chest to the ground. It's kind of awkward, but you can do this. And then of course, last tip kind of is a no-brainer, but make sure that you can come out comfortably at any point. You do not want to start practicing on the floor if you're not comfortable with your back being in the arched position with no wall support. Make sure you feel really comfortable with that wall progression and also with your flexibility exercises before even attempting the transition on the floor. And then transitioning on the floor from handstand to Scorpion handstand is just going to be a bit of practice, but eventually you will get it. I hope you found this short little Scorpion handstand tutorial helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments and subscribe for more calisthenics and fitness content, and I'll see you in the next one.